Our number 2 on today's Kev Baker Show right here on TFRlive.com. And also our number 2, simulcasting on YouTube. Yes, indeed. And it's not just me here. It's my good friend, Johnny Whistles. How you doing, Johnny boy?
I'm doing fine, Kev. Thanks very much. I love that music, mate.
You like that music?
Oh, that has me going, Kev. That has me going.
People write to me telling me that, and then Joe Joseph comes along and he tells me it's like really bad. They bully me over my musical taste, John.
Now that's good. I like that, mate.
And listen, hey, really the musical taste is kind of restricted, right? Because YouTube and the copyright laws, it kind of dictates what you can use. So I go to YouTube's audio library. Big shout out to everyone at YouTube, by the way, you know, me being the Google shell that I am. And I select from the plethora of tunes in there, John, and I find all sorts of music. Yes, indeed. But Johnny, how are you doing, man? It's great to have you back.
I'm doing fine, Kev. Actually, getting a lot better as well. But been to the hospital and I got all sorts of checks done, and a thing came through where I can't work anymore. So that's me. I'm kind of a semi-retired, if you can imagine, Kev.
Oh,
so,
that's awesome, dude.
But it's good that I don't have to go like to doctors every 2 weeks, do you know what I mean, to get a line and all that kind of things. It's just really a pain. But all that's all finished, so everything's good, mate. It's getting better.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. And we're coming up to Halloween as well soon, Johnny. You know, good time of year for the woo. Mm-hmm. We've been looking at a lot of paranormal stuff here on the show in recent times, the shadow dudes. We've been looking at that. Well, there's a new YouTuber out there, good friend of the channel, Jason, First World Problems, he's called. He's got a trailer for an upcoming paranormal investigation that he's going on. So, yeah, it's this time of year, Johnny. It just turns my mind towards the woo. It truly does.
Well, Kev, it's the freakiest time of the year, really, when you think about it. I mean, Halloween, it's one of those traditions, Kev. It can be fun and it can be really scary. It's really up to you how you actually take it. But most of the things that you'll hear back in the day, they were the scary things, Kev.
Ah, exactly. And you'll need to get some of these local stories, like from Fife. You'll need to get like June to give you like the crash course on like the ghosts and the ghoulies from Fife, so you can come on. Definitely, dude. Maybe on Thursday, because Thursday's Halloween and we've got Scotty on for like the Halloween safe space. We could just totally creep it out with like ghosty stories and stuff like that. And talking of ghosty stories, ladies and gentlemen, in the final segment of today's show, we're going back to that place. Yes, we go back to the well once more. This well that I talk about, it just loves to give more and more and more every time we go. And that well, yep, you guessed it. The phone lines are going on in the final section, folks. Coast to coast, quavering. They're absolutely crapping themselves now that we've added the phones in here. They know that KBS is on the rise, Whistles. And I tell you what, if all else fails, right, we'll just have to employ some magic to get us to that number 1 slot. And the kind of magic that I think we would need to get us to number 1 in the radio world, Whistles, I think we would need to use something really big. I'm thinking possibly the world's biggest Ouija board. What do you think, man?
Well, Kev, what about that?
Dude.
That is amazing.
Johnny sent me a story today, ladies and gentlemen, and the headline is, literally, the world's largest Ouija board, all set to summon the world's largest spirits. So, like, is this the kind of Ouija board you need to, like, summon, like, Goliath?
Oh, it seems like it. Because I don't know why they made it that size.
Well, Johnny, think about it. If this is the size of one you need for Goliath, I'm actually thinking your typical Ouija board that people use at home, I'm thinking it's maybe only leprechauns and hobbits that you're getting contact on there. Because if it goes by a size thing, that's like really, really small spirits that you're contacting when you're on the traditional Ouija board game, right?
Yeah, this is like the Witch of Godzilla or something that they're trying to get up, Kev.
Or is this a Ouija board for Nephilim to use? Like people with 6 fingers and really big hands?
I mean, there must be at least 12 people there to move the piece.
Aye. They look like the pieces from a game of Cluedo. That's what they look like, dude. They look like they're on the board game. But folks, let me get into this here, because Johnny sent me this, and the image right away, the headline caught me. And we talk Ouija boards a lot here on the show, a lot. So it says here, it comes from the Confessionals podcast. If you want to summon some really big spirits, you're going to need a really big Ouija board. The world's largest Ouija board, in fact. And on October the 12th, 2019, the aptly titled OuijaZilla, a £9,000 Ouija board, was unveiled in no less than spooky Salem, Massachusetts. Oh, come on. You have got to be kidding me on here.
Salem as well, eh?
Salem, no less. Johnny, I mean, talk about the right place to be doing it, right?
Yeah, that's right. I know. I mean, of all places, Kev, you know what I mean? The witch trials and everything that went on there, the people that died that shouldn't have died, and they're going to try and sum up some magical demon with a giant Ouija board. It just doesn't make sense.
What could possibly go wrong, John? What possibly?
Yeah.
So it says here at 3,168 square feet. Let me just reiterate that for people out there who thought to themselves, I can't be hearing that right. A Ouija board at 3,168 square feet. OuijaZilla has more square footage than many houses and includes a planchette over 15 feet long. Now, for the unindoctrinated into the paranormal kind of research out there, the planchette's the wee thing that moves, or in this case, a really big thing that moves and points to the letters. So it says here, the enormous board was crafted as a labour of love by creator Rick Mortis Shrake, a tattoo artist and avid collector of Ouija boards, including some totally not creepy boards made out of human bone. While OuijaZilla itself is made out of good old plywood, its giant size has well earned the title of the world's largest Ouija board and could very well lead to Salem, home of the famous Salem witch trials, getting a whole lot more haunted. Wow, dude. So it's constructed of 99 individual sheets of plywood, clocking in at approximately £9,000, measures 3,168 square feet, like we learned earlier. And Ripley's Believe It or Not would like to introduce you to the OuijaZilla board and its curious creator, Rick Mortis Shrek. Johnny whistles. This is absolutely amazing. But what inspired this guy? Let's see here. So it says Rick Mortis Shrek, Vice President of the Talking Board Historical Society. And hang on, wait a minute. What the hell is the Talking Board Historical Society? Oh, look at this plethora of golden woo that you've taken us to, Whistles. I've missed you, John. But before we get to that, let's go back and see what Rick's been up to, right? Can we just call him like Ormy? Can we call him or Marty? We'll call him Marty, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marty. So Marty, Vice President of the Talking Board Historical Society and New Jersey-based tattoo artist, has been labouring for the past year, working to surpass the 2016 record holder, the Grand Midway Hotel in Winber, Pennsylvania, for the world's largest Ouija board. John, who knew it was a thing? Who knew there was like competitive Ouija board building?
Yeah, I know.
This is pretty cool, right? Damn, dude. So it says, aptly named OuijaZilla, this gargantuan board, I love the way they've written this, is brilliant, was unveiled on October the 12th, 2019, in the heart of Salem Common. The hand-painted wooden board and accompanying planchette are modelled after the original Parker Brothers glow-in-the-dark Ouija board, minus a few of Marty's personal embellishments. Mm-hmm. Rick even got the blessing of Hasbro Inc. to construct this enormous... Right, got the blessing? No, he was worried about copyright, and rightly so. Because these corporations, dude, if they had just read about this and Marty hadn't bothered his ass, like, getting permission, they would have, like, taken him to court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, blatantly.
If you were asked to participate in that Ouija board session, that big giant one. Would you do it?
Has Bill been listening?
Probably.
No.
Good answer.
Listen. Me and Bill, we have conversations off air as well, and he knows, and it breaks him, so it does. It irks him, but he knows that the journey I'm on, it's going to take me to topics. It's going to take me into situations that Bill, rightly, because he's concerned for me. That's all it's from. It's concern. He would rather I didn't put myself in these situations, right? But at the same time, he accepts that's the journey I'm on. He's on his journey. Free will. Practice what he preaches. But I tell you what, I think he would go absolutely insane if he found out I was on the world's largest Ouija board. But I think I would probably make him laugh if I told him, but it was like a special one for Nephilim.
Mm-hmm. But I just wonder who come up with that idea. As you say, this guy, he's a Ouija board fanatic.
Who knew there was a thing?
Such a thing. Do you know what I mean? But to build one that size is just... But again, it just may be a publicity
I don't
stunt,
know,
Kev.
John. I don't know, because let's go to this talking board historical society, right? Because this is what he's like the vice president of. Right. And it says to research, preserve and celebrate the history of talking boards. So he really is like a Ouija board aficionado. This is like his thing, man. Do you know what I mean? So it says, we're so glad you're here. The mission of the Talking Board Historical Society is to research, preserve and celebrate the history of talking boards, the men and women behind them, and the people who use them. Talking boards are historically significant, having existed in one form or another since shortly after 1848, and the birth of the modern spiritualism. Now, most Americans are aware that the most famous talking board, Ouija, first introduced in 1890 by the Kennard Novelty Company and sold today by Hasbro. Now, what they don't know is that since the beginning, the Ouija board faced fierce competition from other manufacturers who produced hundreds of different yet colourful talking board variations. These were sold, enjoyed and eventually discarded, only to be remade and rediscovered by new generations. Therefore, these boards represent an enduring pop culture phenomenon, an important lost art form. I think they go well beyond just being an art form, John.
Yeah.
Personally.
I mean, how did this thing come to be from a toy to something that people are really, really scared of now? There must have been something happen, Kev.
Nah.
People don't get scared for nothing.
And people have been using like various forms of divination forever. You go back to the necromancy and the geomancy, using symbols in the sand. This kind of thing, this is nothing new. This board, this was a new variant on something that's an age-old, and I do think it's a communication tool. I do, John. I think used in the right way, if you know how you're using it, same as any tool. If somebody knows how to wield it and use it, it can hold great power. And at the same time, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be very dangerous, like a loaded gun.
Yeah.
You can put a loaded gun in the hands of like teenagers and just expect them to play about with it, but yet that's almost what they do with this being a game. But John, at the same time, right, I'm not this kind of like, I don't think about the world as like, if you were to use one of these, that makes you forever evil and you're going to a bad place. I get that some people will innocently, they've got no intentions of calling up any Ooga Boogas, they've had a few drinks, they get a Ouija board going. It's entirely innocent on their part. And I don't hold that against people. That's what I'm trying to say, do you know what I mean? If you've done a Ouija board, I don't care. If you're still doing Ouija boards, that's your choice. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's up to you.
Exactly. I mean, I've tried it once. I won't try it again.
Oh, exactly. Exactly, John. I think most people, it's like almost like what do they call it, a rite of passage when you're growing up,
Yeah.
You find your first porno mag in a bush. You do your first Ouija board. That type of thing, man.
Yeah. It is, mate.
Exactly. That's the way I look at it anyway. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I take my eye off the fact that, you just never know what you're getting coming through, Johnny. Do you know what I mean? And I get it. They tell you all what you want to hear, and it sounds great. But when have you ever read a story or spoke to somebody in a pub that says, "Here, Johnny, wait till I tell you about the crack I had on the Ouija board there, this big ooga booga that came through." I've never heard that one playing out so well, John.
No.
Nah.
No, really.
Never ends up with somebody.
The only time, Kev, that I have ever really felt anything kind of a go bad, I can remember one time I was about maybe 18 and I went to their library and I got a book about the satanic cult.
All right.
Right? And I took it home and I started reading it and I got so far. And at the front, at the fire, the carpet started rolling. Like rolling, there was something under it. Yeah, I swear to God, mate. I freaked. It wasn't something that I'd imagined. I'd seen it. I watched it. And I following day, I took the book back. Because I blamed it on the book. And it's something that sticks in my mind every time I think of satanic. Always think of that.
I tell you, books are powerful things, John, and take it back to like basics. Books, words are made up. You spell them. I mean, you're literally talking about a magical book in the first place, like cults and stuff like that. Who knows? I'm not saying you didn't see anything, that's for sure.
Kev, you're reading out spells as you read that book.
Yep. Now, this on a more ridiculous kind of example of that, we've had a pastor in America recently at a school. They've banned Harry Potter because they honestly think that they're teaching children to, like, cast spells. I told Anne's sister, Julie, down here, myself and Anne told Julie about a week ago. She's like, really? Oh, if that's the case, I would have like done this, and this by now, the amount of times I've cast that spell. So, yeah, but who knows what goes on there, Johnny? Who knows, man? But, yeah, that's a weird one. No wonder you took the book back. I think I'd have just thrown it out and taken the hit.
Oh, it was weird. It's one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me. Do you know what I mean? It's stuck in my mind just because I watched it. It wasn't a figment of imagination. I actually watched it rolling towards me.
Well, talking to things rolling towards you, right? Now, we've got news coming up in the last part of the show. I know we're going to put the phones on as well, but I've got a bit of secret space plane news to get into with Johnny as well. But crawling along the floor, rolling along the floor. Think crawling for a moment. Johnny, have you ever heard of a cryptid, an ooga booga, a new beastie that's on the rise, going by the name of the pale crawler?
I have not.
Oh,
this is a new one?
Oh, yeah, it was a new one on me as well.
Tell me it's not in Britain, eh?
Well, we'll get into it here, but this comes from, obviously, you know where I go for these kind of stories. Oh. Yeah, there's a picture of our pale walker there, but it's a mysterious universe. So it says more pale walker, pale creepy. No, creepy pale crawler. More bizarre encounters with the creepy pale crawler humanoids. Now, I'd never heard of these things. Ever. No, new one. So one phenomenon that has picked up quite a few accounts and attention in recent years is one that lies firmly out in the domain of the fringe and deals with thin, pale beings that seem to defy real classification. I have covered such entities before here, and they are commonly referred to by the creepy name, quote, pale crawlers, a unique branch of paranormal which has grown to encompass countless very bizarre sightings reports. Here we will take a look at even more such encounters, which really stretch the limits of the odds and leave us wondering what could possibly be going on. So the reports of unearthly pale humanoid creatures lurking about in the shadows cover a range of different descriptions. But one of the most common is that of something very tall and extremely thin and gaunt with very pale, almost translucent skin. Now, they often appear out of nowhere for reasons we cannot comprehend, can be seen to travel on 2 legs or 4, and one report that demonstrates an eerie sighting of one of these entities comes from Lon Strickler at Phantoms and Monsters. The witness says that this occurred back in 1994 at a place called Willow Creek, California, where he had been...
It's not here.
Johnny's happy. Where? Johnny, tell you what, man, I've seen things like that down in Glasgow Green, and it's just people walking to cash their gyro. Telling you, man. So it says the house is described as a small 2-bedroom place in a rugged wilderness area, with the Trinity River flowing practically right through their backyard, which is overlooked by a deck attached to the house. Now, one evening, he went to sleep in a sleeping bag in the house's solarium outside under the stars, and the witness says he woke up in the middle of the night for no discernible reason. After wiping away the remnants of sleepiness, he realised that he was being overcome with a distinct feeling of dread that snaked through his veins and provoked within him a flight or fight response, shocking him awake like a splash of cold water, despite the fact that it was a quiet evening and there was no threat to be seen. So after some time, most likely just a minute or two, I turned my head to the side to look into the yard. I had to turn to my side and lift myself a bit to get a better look, but the source of my feeling was impossible to miss. Standing at the bottom of the yard, next to the neighbour's fence line, stood a tall, skinny creature with skin the colour of the moon. It had no hair on its head or anywhere else that I could see. Its eyes were shiny white with a reflective quality, but not bright like bright light was shining on them right then. Just moonlight. Its face had human features, but seemed quite squished, flatter. Its arms seemed really long, and that could just be because it was really tall. The chain-link fence came up to its armpits, so it had to be around 7 to 8 feet tall. Wow. Not enough just to step over the fencing, but I didn't hear it climbing over unless it had been in the yard before I woke up, and just didn't get the dread feeling until later. Its body had a dirty brown, dark grey looking rags over its chest, and around its hips cover its crotch. It was looking right at me. I got scared and ducked down into my sleeping bag as far as I could, and my sister has always been a heavy sleeper, and I didn't want to wake her up for this anyway. Next thing, I hear heavy footsteps on the deck coming towards the solarium. There's a wood door with a screened window in the top of it, not opened at the time as far as I can remember, and all was quiet for a while, so I peeked out through a small fold of the sleeping bag. Through one of the bottom windows of the solarium next door, I saw its pale, large feet. The skin was rough and the toes were gnarled with dirty nails. I curled up, trying not to make a sound or move much. The bag was getting stuffy. He says the next thing he knew, he was being shaken awake by his father after having passed out, and he would later find out that no one else had seen or heard anything unusual. There was no footprints or any physical evidence left behind, and his father told him that it had probably been a bad dream. What did this witness see out there, and why was it prowling about his property? A somewhat similar report comes to us from Reddit user Buckeye Brute, who relates an experience his grandfather had at his rural home in a coal mining town of southeastern Ohio. The grandfather began to get visitations at night from a very otherworldly, tall, pale being that seemed to just loiter about the property and watch the house. And the commenter says of his grandfather and his brush with the weird, he used to be soft-spoken and generally reserved the last time I visited, but he was easily startled by noises, constantly checking outside the window, and he won't let his dog outside unless he goes with the dog, and he always brings his handgun with him. I asked him why he was so jumpy, and he told me it was because of something he had seen multiple times outside the kitchen window. He claims that he's seen a tall, white, and very thin creature on the edge of his backyard near the tree line. He tells me it has small, black eyes. that's around 8 feet tall, and that it just stands there watching his house and then vanishes. He said the sighting started about 2 months ago, and I have only seen him twice since he started to see whatever thing this is. I am at a loss for words on how to help him. My grandfather, he used to be so easygoing, but anymore he's afraid of my family staying at his house past sundown because he doesn't want us seeing it either. So on the note of the black-eyed, pale crawler, we will be back after these short messages, folks. And if you do hear anything going bump in the night or rustling through in the kitchen, maybe you're in the house alone right now, don't think of the pale crawler. That would be the last thing you want to think of, right? Or the shadow dude. It's neither of those things. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Yes, and we're still live on YouTube, Johnny, so don't be pulling your banger out or getting naked or like you used to do when we used to go on the break or anything. I'm only joking, folks.
Yep.
You know I do this to... I even do this to the guests, Johnny. Like, I hit them with something totally inappropriate and rude as well. So it's all good, man.
That's okay, Kev. I wouldn't expect anything less.
So the pale walker, John.
That's quite weird, Kev.
Very weird that
never
there's
heard of that.
multiple reports as well. But listen, whether people think this is genuine or not, right? Mm-hmm. The way I would look at it is, did we not say some time ago that if all of our theories about the veil getting thinner, etc., the paranormal becoming the normal, stuff like that, if all of that was real, John, then we would expect to start seeing new beasties, new ooga boogas, and things would get a little bit weirder. Well, I ask you, Johnny, have things been getting a little bit weirder?
I think they have.
There you go.
This whole world is weird, Kev.
John, we're building 3,000-foot Ouija boards. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Who knows what we're welcoming in here?
What are we bringing in?
It's like an empty. That's what it is, isn't it? It's like we've decided Earth is an empty, and we're like sending out invites to multiple dimensions. And an empty in Scotland, folks, is when your parents are away and you get pissed. So it's like Earth. If somebody's declared it an empty, and we just want like everyone coming for a house party.
Yep.
Never ends well, Johnny.
It's going to be the worst house party in the world.
You usually find the house gets trashed. Usually. Yeah. And that's before you go to other dimensions looking for guests, right? So yeah, big shout out to everyone in the chat room. We have got King Sweet, Billy Joe, great to see you. ZX81, found out today he was born in one of the hospitals that I went to with a broken nose when I was in the army. Not that I used to fight much, John. But yeah, very weird how, you know, you find people, and I don't know, it's a big world, 7.5 billion people, but then randomly meet somebody. I don't know, it's weird, dude. We got Queen Goddess in there.
ZX81, Kev, you got to love a name.
I know.
I had the computer.
I know, I've been through this with him, Johnny. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Memories, dude, memories.
Oh.
Playing with the audio. Yep.
Oh,
Lee
amazing.
Veltman, we have this is not a cooking show, my friend. We don't do cooking in here of any variety. If I ever end up doing a cooking show, you know fine well I'm red pilling to pay the bill, brother. So no, there'll be none of that cooking in here. Certainly not. We've got Chuck Bam Bam. He's a big fan of the Dog Man, Johnny. Like as in a big fan of the Dog Man. We've got Polynation in there. And of course we've also got Just a Guy, Shannon. He's back after being hacked badly. Well, he's back with us now. We've got Disco Duck. How you doing, Disco Duck? First World Problems.
Disco Duck.
Remember, check out First World Problems YouTube channel. I keep calling them First World Problems. Is it First World Problems? It's First World Problems. I called them something different earlier on, Johnny. First World Perspective or something. I don't know. Things are going a bit crazy here today, man.
Yeah.
It's because you're here. I blame you.
That's okay.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Okay to blame. Yeah.
We're getting ready to go back to the mothership, folks. So
Okay, my
stand
man.
by. Yes, we'll be back on TFR in 3, 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Final segment of today's Kev Baker Show. And we were talking about some really creepy cryptids before the break there. The Pale Crawler. It's a new one on me. we're definitely going to have to spend more time looking into that, see if there's been more reports of what's been happening with the Pale Crawler. We've been talking about the world's biggest Ouija board as well with Johnny Whistles. And Johnny, in the title over here on the YouTube stream, I had to put in secret space as well, right? Because something I remember the two of us talking about before was that mysterious space plane. Remember the X-37B? That thing that just goes away and flies about forever and nobody knows what it's doing. Well, get this, because again, we go back to Mysterious Universe, and it says that the mysterious Air Force space plane returns after a record-breaking flight. So the X-37B continues to demonstrate the importance of a reusable space plane. Each successive mission advances our nation's space capabilities. And those capabilities would be what? Air Force Secretary Barbara Barrett didn't give an information in her announcement that the super-secret 37B space plane landed in Florida on October 27th at 3:51 a.m. Eastern Time after spending, John, 780 days in Earth orbit. Doing, and again, what? Johnny, what is this thing all about? Is it like just the most advanced spying machine in the world? What are they doing with it, dude?
Well, you would have to think that that's what it is, Kev. That probably a spy machine that just goes round the world, do you know what I mean?
Is this the thing that transmits the signal? Is this the thing that transmits the signal? So, like, if we get the glasses and we put the glasses on, we start seeing what's really going on and stuff like that. It's this, right? This is like the transmitter.
I wish, Kev. That'd be great, but
it's a weird one, dude. It looks
this thing is going to be nefarious anyway. It's not going to for any good, that's for sure.
Oh, come on. It doesn't have to be nefarious. It could be doing experiments, Whistles. I mean, look at the thing. It looks like it's held together with duct tape. Look at it. It's got like bits of tape hanging off the wings and things. To be honest with you, man, I don't buy that this thing has been flying for close to 2 years on its own, or just over 2 years. Look at it. Looks like bits of tape on the wing, Johnny.
I know what you're saying.
It's a weird one.
I mean, it's in space, isn't it?
Low Earth orbit. So I suppose if you wanted to get technical, I don't know if that's technically all out there in space.
Maybe no, but maybe doesn't need as much fuel or whatever.
And again, John, I could be wrong with that. Maybe I don't know what the threshold is for being.
Yeah, me too, either. But I mean, to me, it just looks like the space shuttle, where the windows taken out.
Aye, like they've boarded up the windows, like they've redacted the windows.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Pretty weird though, Kev. I mean, it's a long time. That is a long time.
That is a long time. Heck of a long time. I dare say it's doing like 10 different things, John. There's probably loads of different missions loaded on that. There'll be cameras, there'll be experiments from NASA, there'll be air samplers, microbes. Exactly, dude. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine it's not just for one thing, as you say, kid. There's probably a multitude of things that it's doing. But why they haven't given us... I mean, even one thing what it's doing...
I know.
That always kind of
adds
gets the old thinky things going, you know.
And if they've got this, right, what else have they got? What other secret ones have they got that they don't tell us about, Whistles? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, not too impressed. I don't know. Again, I think it just annoys me because they don't tell us what it's doing. It's that lack of information. You're just left to speculate, man.
Yeah.
And that's never good.
They would have, you know, it just says weird spaceship comes in and lands in Florida. Nobody knows who it's from. That would have kicked off a bit of interest, Kev, you know what I mean? But no, I mean that. God.
They should have said it just arrived from Mars. It just turned up. They actually came in with a call sign MH370 and landed looking like that. But here we go. Here we go. What I'm going to do, folks, is, and I've taken Johnny off the screen because I am calling up so we can connect the phone lines right here on tfrlive.com. and we'll get you to call in with your woo for the final part of this show. So once that connects, I will bring Johnny back on the screen. Give me 2 seconds.
I thought it was too ugly there, Kev.
Well, that was probably been quite thoughtful of young children or anything around the world as well, you know. Johnny, neither of us are oil paintings, so I dare say nobody's tuning in to see how we look right now. Bloody hell, I hope they're not. I really hope they're not. But if anybody wants to phone up the Kev Baker Show, and let's face it, we have had some pretty amazing callers in recent times, then all you have to do is dial the following numbers. If you're in the US, dial 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. If you're in the UK, you can phone up on 0044 203 393 2871. One last time, that is 0044 203 393 2871. And I'm going to drop that at the chat room on tfrlive.com. Boom. There you go. I'm going to drop that in the chat room over at YouTube. Boom. You like this multitasking thing, Johnny? And they say
you're doing well.
And they say us dudes with swingy bits and baby makers, we can't multitask. But I contest that, my friend. Absolutely.
You just proved it, Kev.
Yep. So what do you think, Johnny, this earlier time? I mean, we're going to be wrapping up the show before 11 o'clock. We're going to be finishing the show on the same day that we started it. How cool's that? That's not very often on KBS.
No, it's not.
This Friday, we'll start Freaky Friday on a Friday. Because people don't usually notice that Freaky Friday never happens for me and Johnny on a Friday.
No.
That's always just the first minute of a strange Saturday. But that's okay. That's okay because me and Johnny, we're like hybrids. We're like dual citizens, both Scotland and the US. What do you think
can
of
live in any time.
And John, what do you think of mine and Scott's idea that it's time for me to get political, but in a different way? I'm going to start making a case for making Scotland the 51st state. Because, listen, if we get our independence, it's got to be better than going to the EU, right? If we just get bought up by Trump and America and they make us the 51st state and we can have golf courses everywhere, hotels, we'll be fine,
guns.
Man. Eh?
Can we have guns?
Oh, I'd love that. I would love that. Just in the off chance that anyone like Sturgeon ever gets in again.
Yeah.
Like the reason the Americans have their guns. Yeah. I could go for that. Yep. Big time.
Oh, yeah. I could go for that, Kev.
Big time, Johnny. Although we now live in a country where one of the police forces have stopped showing the pictures of knives that are handed in when there's a knife amnesty because it's deeply affecting and offending some people when they see these weapons. Some of which you can find in normal kitchens, may I add. Yeah.
Well, Kev, if you think that is bad, I've got a better one for you.
Are you going to trump me? Are you going to take it a stage further?
I'm going to trump you on that one, Kev, because that is nothing compared to this. We have a woman, Labour MP, who says that 99% of giraffes are gay.
Oh, wow. Can I trump you on that one then? Can I beat you on that one?
Okay.
Hang on then. Well, you tell us a bit more. Who is this person that's talking this way?
Actually, Kev, it was just when you were talking about something stupid there. I was watching the George Galloway,
brilliant.
There's a show on YouTube.
Yep.
And he was talking about it, and he got in touch with a giraffe expert who says, tell the woman she doesn't know what she's talking about. If that was the case, giraffes would have died out about maybe 1 million years ago, Kev.
Call in, you can do it. Brown chicken, brown cow.
Brown chicken, brown cow. Absolutely fantastic. Shannon, I've missed you, brother, big time. But yeah, if people want to call in, they can. But Johnny, I said I was going to trump you, and I can trump you, okay? Because if we come over here, check this out. Whoa, we've got another one. Well, thank you very much, Mr. First World Problem.
Thanks for your support, Kev. Check out the link I put in chat. Screaming Yeti in the woods. Very creepy. And welcome back, Jag. We missed you.
Yeah, see, just the guy. You've been well missed, brother. But Johnny, I will take your homosexual giraffes and I will match that, and I will raise the stake by adding in gay penguin couple adopt their first gender-neutral penguin at a London aquarium, because the zookeepers don't want any of these penguin stereotypes to affect the young penguin. So the penguin can choose its own gender when it gets older. And not only that, they're letting the genderless penguin live with 2 lesbian penguins because they showed each other a bit of affection one time. So they've deemed them lesbian penguins. So I ask you, can you trump my lesbian penguin topped off with a non-binary, gender-fluid kind of penguin child?
See, these are the times where I hate you, Kev.
But it's a good hate. It's a good hate. And for people thinking I'm making this up, I'm not. I Googled penguin non-binary. First story comes from September the 10th. There is now a gender-neutral penguin living at London's aquarium. The Independent would be regarded as one of our more serious lying mainstream medias. I get that. But, Johnny, yes, the London Aquarium is very woke. Very woke indeed. It says the London Aquarium has its first ever gender-neutral penguin. The genderless penguins, which has still yet to be named, because, I mean, Johnny, you wouldn't want one of these, loaded names that would assign an assumed gender to you or anything. Penguin not to have assigned gender at the Sea Life London Aquarium. Now, while gender neutrality is normal amongst penguins, really? Who asked? Mm-hmm. Newborn penguins at the famous UK aquarium have traditionally been given gender-based names. But on this occasion, expert aquarists, or aquarists, however you say that, people that are really, really clued up on animals in the water, decided it would be more natural for the chick to grow and develop into an adult without any assigned gender. The Gen 2 penguin chick is currently 4 months old and will be identified for health and welfare purposes via a purple band that it has been tagged with. Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Now, how did they know that these penguins are gay? Because one male moved beside another male?
When they were doing something, I think it was feeding time or something like that, or there was some kind of activity-based thing going on, John, these 2 female penguins showed they liked each other's company. I don't think there was anything like sexually kind of like girl on girl going on in the penguin enclosure. Just merely wandered about together for too long. And then, I mean, in this day and age where it's wrong to assign pronouns and make assumptions about people's sexuality and stuff like that, here they are. They've turned into the people they say they hate, because what are they doing? They're assigning the sexual classification on a couple of penguins that A, can't speak for themselves, and B...
I'll tell you what, Kev, I want to see these 2 lesbian penguins when it becomes mating season. You
want proof, Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you want that? Yep. I'm with you, dude.
Those 2 will be looking for a male.
Burden of proof isn't on us here.
Females.
Yep. No, you're right, Johnny. Why? Because they're animals. It's instinctual. And the reason that the baby penguins don't really do girly things or boy things until a certain age, you know why that is, folks? Because they don't give a shit. They're just busy being a penguin. That's all it is. The same as a child should just be busy being a child. And they shouldn't be bothered with all this stuff. All of this pressure comes from people with, I'm sorry, but the ones that really push this the hardest, the ones that are most vocal and most active and get outraged the most about this, there's mental problems going on there, John. And that's not to take away from genuine people who have, gone to other genders. They've got that gender dysphoria. Not talking about that. But these people who will go out of their way to use penguins as a vehicle for their wokeness, to show how inclusive they are. Do you know what I mean? Non-problem. It's a non-problem. Leave our penguins alone.
Penguins.
Oh,
Penguins.
hang on, Johnny. We're going to Florida, I believe, my friend. Not physically, but we've got a call
damn.
from area code 320. You are on the Kev Baker Show.
What's up? What's up, Kev?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing very, very... Have we spoke before?
No, man, no. This is the first time. This is first time on the phone, dude.
What's your name, brother? It's great to have you here.
I'm Austin. This is Austin Thompson.
Austin, one of our members over on YouTube. It's great to speak to you, man. Yeah. It's great to have you, dude. So what are you thinking? What's happening, man? What's with the woo? What do you want to talk about?
I mean, I don't know. I got a lot to talk about. I've been looking into NASA a lot lately. You know, never a straight answer. That's been really messing with my head a lot. You know, all the money they get every day. More than the music industry and the movie industry combined, all the money they get, and it's just lies after lies after lies. It's crazy.
What do you make?
You guys are just showing that. You guys are just showing that space plane, talking about how unstable and not durable that looks. Well, that lunar lander, I mean, that's three layers of tinfoil. You know what I mean? Like that's a joke.
Nah, Johnny, you're not a fan of NASA either, John. I've got problems with NASA as well, man.
Yeah, dude.
What do you think?
This is awesome, man. You guys are awesome.
So, Austin, what do you think? I'm going to hazard a guess here and say that you think the moon landing was fake.
Oh, dude, it's fake as a $3 bill, man. That thing's fake.
Yeah.
Everything about it's fake.
Yeah.
This is all I gotta say. I mean, it just nothing lines up. Nothing works. I mean, you're gonna tell me back in the day in the in what was it? What was the I don't know the right date. The 60s.
67 was it? Yeah.
They're live streaming that. You're gonna tell me they live streamed something that epic? I don't think so.
No, I'm with you.
It's funny because all the Apollo missions, they were televising them on TV, and then it's like, here comes Apollo 13. People are at home wanting to watch their primetime TV. They're getting sick of watching the moon landing. So then they had to add a little drama to the Apollo mission, you know, because they're putting them on prime time. I don't know. It's just all crazy to me.
Yeah, that moon landing, Johnny, that's a bit dodgy. I mean, here's what I think, Austin and Johnny and everyone out there. And people hate me for this, right? But I think there was a moon landing, but I think what we seen was fake. I think they filmed one that they showed the public. But at the same time, I do think they went, and some people really hate me for saying that. And I'm with you. I get it. I mean, you look at that lander and things, and it just looks preposterous, Johnny, that anything like that they could even get there. They say that we...
Come on. It's not even that. I mean, you can even see the backdrop.
Yeah.
You can see the backdrop on like it's crazy. The same backdrop in different photos. It's just nuts.
Well, that backdrop's quite a key piece of evidence because, Whistles, that's where Kubrick comes in. Because he had just done the 2001 Space Odyssey, and he basically had pioneered this new backdrop kind of effect where you put the screen up and you've seen the horizon. And that's exactly what you can see when you're looking at the moon landing film, right?
Yeah. Well, there's two things that get me. One was, I mean, I'm the same as you. I think they went, but just not when they said they went, right? Now, one of them is that moon buggy. Now, when you look at the size of that moon buggy and the thing that they actually went back up in, how did they actually get it out there?
Come on.
Now, the other
thing is,
the other thing is,
go ahead.
When they were going to take off from the moon to go back up to the capsule, who was it that actually filmed it going up? Because that didn't just do it by remote control. There must have been somebody.
And not only that, they had it pan up too.
Yeah.
The camera also was panning up, following it up.
Yeah. So there must be somebody left there.
What they done was they went in the time machine. They went to Maplin before Maplin went bust over here, you know, and then they got themselves a Wi-Fi webcam that had like a range of like 300,000 miles so they could get it back to NASA. Yeah, I know. It sounds ridiculous, and that's the point. But yeah.
They said, they're like, oh, we'll pick you up on the next mission. We'll come back for you.
Now, I've got to be careful, Austin. I've got to be careful because, I mean, I've got a couple of guests. I've got old Warren Flash. He's worked with NASA. I've got Brendan. He's a good friend of NASA. And I often have a good back and forth with Brendan
that
about
doesn't
NASA.
take away any of those people, you know?
No, I know that.
It
No.
doesn't take away any of those. Those people can still be great people. It's just they can be deceived too, you know? Everything's compartmentalized.
Bingo.
You know, it's just...
No, you nailed it. You nailed it, Austin. You absolutely nailed it, because that's why I often try and point out to people, yes, NASA, the organization, or any corporation you look at, they can be absolutely evil to the core, shenanigans going on, but that doesn't mean that everyone working there is in on the game. You know, probably 5% of people know all the stuff going on. And that's why, you know, the secrets are kept for so long, because many tongues or loose tongues sink ships. And the more people that know about a conspiracy, the more people that know about a crime.
And they know who plays ball, you know?
Exactly.
You can find out who's going to play ball and who won't, you know?
Exactly, Austin, exactly. Well, listen, I appreciate you so much, brother, as I do all the other members of the YouTube channel. And it's been great talking to you today, man. And next time we open up the
Same
phones...
here, man.
Yep.
You guys are awesome.
Dude, you are absolutely amazing. You sound like you're full of beans. You're full of like, I don't know, Johnny sounds fully charged, man.
Yeah, he does, doesn't
Awesome.
he? Good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Awesome. That's what we want. Austin, I'll let you get back to your day, sir, and we will wrap up this show. But thank you so much, Austin. And I look forward to hanging out with you on the Safe Space tomorrow. Hopefully see you on the Safe Space there. But yeah, thank you very much. Our very own Florida guy, Austin. Yeah, Johnny, I tell you what, that kind of optimism, that kind of happiness, I think we should all take a bit of a buzz from Austin as we leave the show today. That was amazing, dude.
He could bottle that kind of energy, Kev. Honestly, that's brilliant. I love hearing
Folks,
that.
that's the way you should approach every day. Just full of life, bubbly, tackling it, smile on your face. You could hear Austin smiling there. That's the way to tackle this crap. That's the only way to cope with living in the real world version of idiocracy. I think that's the best advice that I can give you out of 1,200 shows near enough that we've done here. Just keep a smile on your face. Just keep on pushing on, and don't let it get you down, because it can get you down. But remember, it's designed to get you down. So do the Austin. Go and listen to Austin again and listen to how chipper and how upbeat that dude is. I'm feeling better for the sake of speaking to him, John.
Yeah, I mean, and some good points as well, Kev, about NASA. You know, we've never trusted them.
No.
You know what I mean? We've never really trusted them.
But at the same time, John, I often add nowadays as well that doesn't mean that every mission they do, everything they tell us is wrong.
No,
exactly. And that's what makes it harder to tell.
The things that we don't hear about is what they do with the, do you know what I mean, the military industrial complex.
That's the thing. You know the way I think about it, Johnny? It's like a really elaborate, most complex front company in the world.
Yeah.
Because it literally does have stuff going on, but the main purpose, it's not, you know, they're literally funneling that money straight to wherever it needs to go. And that's the stuff we don't hear about.
Kev, do you know what I mean? I watch the NASA programs. I watch what they put on. I watch what they find. I watch what Hubble catches every day. Do you know what I mean? Because these are the real things that are happening in space, and they're the things that interest me.
Well, Johnny, the James Webb will be going live soon, and that's going to be finding us exoplanets, and that's something to look forward to. And folks, we're almost out of time, but TFR doesn't stop here. Of course it doesn't. That's not how we roll. We've got Lucky and Dr. Brooks Agnew coming up right after the break. They're going to take you into some quantum connections. I'll be back tomorrow on the Safe Space. Hopefully the same time usually for the Safe Space. Got a hospital appointment tomorrow. Nothing to worry about. Just a scan. Just going. So it might be a bit later. But I'll be back tomorrow night. Don Wiskin is going to be with me in hour number 1 tomorrow. So we'll get our monthly visit from Don in hour number 1. And in hour number 2 tomorrow, I'm going to take you back into the FBI seeking the finders. One of the strangest stories I've seen in a long time. And if you're looking for a bedtime story later on, I see Paranormal Portal kicking about in our chat room here. Very, very blessed to have Brent Thomas in the chat room. Check out Paranormal Portal, folks. You think I do a lot of streaming? Brent's on it, man. Go and check it out. So for one last time today, I'll be back tomorrow, and it's great to have Whistles here to finish off our kind of shtick when we go out here. But it's been great speaking to all of you. It's been great seeing you again, Whistles.
Yeah, it's been good, Kev. Thanks very much. I've really enjoyed this, honestly.
Absolutely. So then, until tomorrow, wherever you are, make it TFR.
And then you touch that dial.
Awesome. We're out of here. Lucky and Dr. Brooks Agnew coming up. Don't go anywhere, folks. There we go. There we go. We're still on YouTube right now. So, Johnny, again, thank you for today, man. That was awesome.
It's been great, Kev, honestly.
Well, there's nobody in hour number 2 tomorrow. If you want to come and chill, come and kick back.
I will, because I want to hear what this thing is you're talking about, this FBI thing. So I'll just stay in the background.
Well,
Kev,
you know
okay?
what to do? You know what to do? Just so I can show people as well. If we go to the channel, yeah, that's there. It's this stream right here. And I'll find the timestamp.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Really good production value on it, I must
That's
say.
them talking about your video again, Jason. Yes. The hell are we looking at here? And then it gets passed along the chain of command. Okay, here we go. It's no different because they too are really right. So if you go about an hour into yesterday's show, folks, and I'll drop it in your chat as well here. Drop it here in the Skype. Yeah, you'll hear us talking about this FBI document about a group called the Finders. And again, listen, on the face of it, I'm quite honest about it. I'm only reporting what it looks like so far. Scott's digging into it deeper. I know other people are digging into it, but some of the stuff this relates to, John, it's like an investigation into all the things that we've speculated about over the years when it comes to like really, really evil and nasty people in government and things. That's the kind of thing that the FBI were investigating until, like Austin was talking about there, compartmentalization kicked in. And no more. Thank you. Rubber stamp, case closed.
Wow.
So, yeah, we'll get into that tomorrow in hour number 2. Maybe, or we might just find other stuff to get into. And if Johnny's going to be here for hour number 2 tomorrow, and again, Johnny, if you can't make it, that's perfectly fine. I understand, dude. But I think we'll set up the simulcast for hour number 2 tomorrow. How does that sound, folks? Does that sound good to all of you? It's a rhetorical question. I'm not even going to bother waiting for an answer. It sounds good to me, Whistles. So we'll do this all again tomorrow. Yes. So before we go, Whistles, you know, anything you want to say to these crazies out there in the chat? They're crazy people, man. But I know some of them actually missed you, dude. What's that all about?
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, kid, but
I'm a cheeky
honestly,
bastard, isn't I?
It is great to be back. Do you know what I mean? There is. I mean, I get messages, Kev. You know what I mean, from a few people just wondering where I've got to and all that. Do you know what I mean? But I'm still here, still hanging in there, and I'm getting better as the day goes on. So
good man. Good man. And Tim in the chat room, he says, always a pleasure. Hope I wasn't too strident or offensive. I tell you, you'd have to do a lot to be offensive in here. Really, truly. And the only thing we really don't like is bashing on people because of their belief systems. We're all about free will. You're free to say what you want, but within certain boundaries, you know what I mean? I don't see the point in hating on other people, Johnny, because they might read a different book to say you or I. It's just ridiculous. And isn't that exactly the way that these elites want us to act? To divide ourselves on that stupid level. Exactly. So we don't roll like that here. That's my point. No. So then, folks, I'm going to wrap it up now. We'll be back tomorrow. Don Wiskin will be with me in hour number 1 on tfrlive.com, and then we will be simulcasting hour number 2 right here with the Whistler tomorrow. Remember, head on over to tfrlive.com now where you'll catch Lucky and Dr. Brooks Agnew. Can't beat a bit of Dr. Brooks Agnew. I remember listening to him back in the day. Hollow Earth, all that stuff, man. Wow. That takes me back, Johnny. Takes me right back.
I know.
Yep. Used to see
Kev.
Coast to Coast would have 3 hours with Dr. Brooks Agnew. It would be like, oh man, manna from heaven. Absolutely. The good old days. Before I ended up with a show of my own. Oh, if only I'd known then what I know now. I'm telling you, Johnny.
Who would have thought, Kev?
Who would have thunk
Here
it?
you are.
Who would have thunk it? Thought I couldn't do an hour a day. Now I do about 10 hours a day. Okay, 10 hours is a bit of an exaggeration, but you get me. So listen, to everyone out there in the chat room, can't thank you all enough. And Billy, it's been great to see you in here. I hope you got a notification. Folks, if you're not getting notifications, unclick the bell, click it again. Maybe that might help. And remember as well, if you want to support the channel, but only if you can and only if you really want to, click this button here on the channel homepage and it will come up with 3 offers. One of them, £1.99 per month. That's our very special offer. We've got $4.99 a month or $8.99 a month. What do the different prices get you? It gets you exactly the same thing. We've got a VIP members-only chat and members-only stream every Sunday. And I've stuck to that promise, folks, even though yesterday I honestly thought we weren't going to get one in, but we've managed to stick to that. And that's the very least I can do for all of you for stepping up to the plate and really helping keep us going and keeping us doing what we do here. But remember, only if you can. There's super chats, there's PayPal links, and me and Anne, we really love PayPal. But that is enough of that for today, and we'll be back tomorrow. And yes, Johnny, I think we need 23 more members and we get a new emoji. I think it might be time for whistles. I think we need a whistler's head in there. I think I might put that on the short list for the next emoji. We could have you in your whistler, your Templar garb. Remember,
that'd be cool.
The Photoshop I done, whistles, whistles and Johnny Whistles and the Holy Whistle. What was it? Johnny Sinclair and the Holy Whistle, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something bizarre like that.
Fantastic.
In fact,
That was a great picture. It really was good.
Before we go, I'll pull it up, folks. Here we go.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I've got a Photoshop War folder. It's pretty crazy. Here we go. Here it is. There it is. That looks awesome, man. Well, click it. Where did it go? There it is. The Curse of Oak Island and the Hunt for the Holy Whistle. That's brilliant. Come on, man.
That's magic, honestly.
Isn't it? I think that's absolutely fantastic. Just
actually look as if I did pose for that, Kev.
You actually do, Johnny. It looks like you were given it a very kind of important face,
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Paranormal Portal. When you want to do the Friday Night of Woo crossover show. Oh, very, very soon, Paranormal Portal. That sounds very, very good indeed. Let me get the next couple of weeks out the way, Brent, because I've got a lot of hospital appointments coming up. And again, that's not me fishing for sympathy, folks. It's just the practicality of the situation. It's that time of the year where Kev gets prodded and poked and not probed like these lucky alien buggers. Okay? I don't get anything nice like that. But after that, we will definitely do some kind of... what would that be? Would that be like a woo-a-thon, Johnny?
Yeah.
A woo-a-thon?
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Paranormathon? I like that. The Paranormathon.
Paranormathon.
Now we're just making up words for the sake of it, I think. I suspect. Yeah, Ken says you've got that medieval kind of face going on, Johnny.
Yeah, I know. Armin thinks I'm sitting in Nessie.
And some Australian really, really bad guy, Ivan Millet, rot in jail, died in prison a few days ago. Ken again. Australia's cool, man. There's something about Australia, dude. There is.
Hi, Lisa.
Just let me know, brother, and we'll set it up. Brent, absolutely. We will get that going. I'll speak to the guys as well. That is going to be like That's a show waiting to happen, Johnny, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Big time.
Definitely.
Big time. I need to plan something good for that. That'd be cool. Just a Guy, great to see you again, brother. But listen, we're going to get going now. Let you get back to it. Let you go and listen to Lucky and Dr. Brooks Agnew and whatever it is you've got to do. But thank you so much for joining me and the Whistler here for this impromptu 1 hour kind of simulcast here. It means the world to us. It truly does. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing the Whistler half as much as I have. And he'll be back tomorrow. So until then, folks, you keep it real. Keep your minds open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. We are out of here.